So today class we are going to discuss about Tomcat. Before going to start the Tomcat, every DevOps engineer or software engineers we should know about the different kind of servers, that is web server and application server. So first thing is web server. What is web server? A web server is software that receives HTTP and HTTPS requests from the users. So it can be web users. So whatever the application we are going to use, for example, I am using a Amazon. That is a I am a user for that particular web browser. So when we use that one, the software is going to receive the HTTP request by using web server, and it is going to return the web pages or other web content. A web server primarily serves static content. So this particular web server it is going to serve the static content only, such as like HTML files, CSS files, JavaScript, images, videos, and PDF document. So these are the content which going to display when we use a web server. So whenever the user is clicked on that particular browser, it's going to redirect to the different files based upon the URL which we have created, developed and deployed our application. Okay. So example is, if you visit a Amazon.com website, your browser sends an HTTP request to Amazon web browser. That is a using Amazon's web server. It's going to display. So this is a web server which we use to deploy our application, Amazon application. So there are two different type of contents which we have, like static and dynamic. Static is a like shows the exact pre-built HTML files it's going to show for every visitor, but dynamic will be generate content on the fly using database. Based upon the database and server side processing, it's going to display. So when you use static, the files are in pre-written like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and delivered to the exact delivered to the browser exactly the as stored. Whatever the data is there, it's going to display when we use web server. But when comes to dynamic content, that is going to use as application server. It will be code runs on the server, like it can be Java application Node.js, and it's going to pull the data. It's going to pull the data and build the page on demand. Okay. So the web server responds with the HTML, CSS, JavaScript images. These files are displayed in your browser. When you click on it, it's going to display by using a web server. So how the web server works, you can see here. This is the one. When we click on the browser, it will connect to the HTTP requests, and it's going to check for the data in web server. It can be Apache or Nginx, and it will load the static files, then HTTP response, and it will display in the browser. That is how it will work a web server, web browser or web server together. So popular web browsers, it can be web servers, Apache Nginx, Apache HTTP server, and most popular open source web server it is. So most of the companies, if you call about web server, it will be Apache HTTP server, and the next is Nginx. So Nginx is a high performance web server, and reverse proxy purpose we use Nginx. And then is Microsoft IIS. So this is Windows based web server, and next is Lightspeed. This is a commercial high performance web server. So these are the popular web servers which we have many companies are using. And what are the advantages? So advantages of web server: fast for static content. Like if you use a static content, it will be very fast and very quickly it's going to display the data when we use web server. And a lightweight. So it will be very lightweight. Nothing much. The data size is very less for this, and we can use very quickly and easy to configure. And then secure, it is a very secure. We are going to provide the secure access for that application web server. And next is easy to configure. So the configuration of the web server is very easy. And next is it's going to support the load balancing and reverse proxy. So load balancing is nothing but the balance of the traffic is going to, the load of the traffic it's going to balance into different servers. That's why it is going to support the load balancing as well, and also reverse proxy with a web server. That is about web server. This is just a basic introduction about web server. Before we are going to know more about application server, we are mainly learning about application server. One of the application server, that is a Tomcat, but we should know about web server and application server both for the interview purpose and also for understanding purpose while working. Next is application server. What is application server? It is an application server is a application server. It is provides an environment to execute business logic and generate dynamic content. So mainly the difference between web server and application server is, in the web server it's going to generate only static content, it's going to display. And here in the application server it's going to generate dynamic content. Unlike a web server, it can process user requests, connect to the database, and execute applications code. So here it will do all the things like process user request, connect to the database, and execute application code. Everything will be done in the application server. But in web server, it is nothing like that. It is only for static content. So dynamic content example: suppose a user logs into online banking portal. So if you take not only online banking portal, any online one which you use username and password, and you will log in. So the application server will be validate the username and password, queries the database. So it's going to query the database based upon the input which we have provided, username and password. If it is correct, then only we can able to log in. Even if you use any social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, anything. So it will validate the username and password. If it is correct, then only you can proceed further. Otherwise, it will deny access and retrieve the account information. So once you provide the details, it's going to retrieve the account information from the database and generate a personalized response. So the particular response will be personalized. So whatever the username and password provided, based upon that, the data will be displayed and it's going to fetch from the database and generate. Then it's going to send it to the back to the browser. So once you in the browser you provide the username and password, it will go to the database, query the database, and retrieve the account information. Sorry. And generate a personalized response. Then it will come back to the browser and it will display. So each user receives a different content. So when you use a username and password, each user will be having the different content, different data based upon their credentials. So how application server architecture is, it will be like this: browser, HTTP request, then application server it will go, then business logic, database, then dynamic response will come from the database, then it will display in the browser. Like that, it will work. The architecture of the application server looks like this. Okay, what are the responsibilities of application server? First is execute Java servlets. It's going to execute the Java servlets which are developed by Java, because the Tomcat is the application server is developed by using Java code. So mainly it will be handled with the Java servlets and runs the JSP pages, then processes business logic, then manages user sessions. So it's going to manage user sessions, like multiple sessions will be, we are going to log in, everything will be managing in the backend. Then handles the transactions will be handled by the application server. So whatever the transactions you have done, it will be handled and it will store in the history. Next, provides security, then connects to the database. So security will be high. Even whatever the tools which we use, security will be very important. Otherwise, there is no use of automation or no use of any tool. So security is a high priority in the software or anywhere you go. Security is very important. That's why we use these many tools and we are going to provide the different access permissions. Then connects to the database, the application server, then generates a dynamic web pages. These are the different responsibility of a application server. So there are different application servers are there we can use. That is one of them, Apache Tomcat, then Wildfly, JBoss or Wildfly we call it, and next is WebLogic, then WebSphere. So these are the different application servers we have. Apache Tomcat is a Java servlet container, and JBoss or Wildfly we call it. That is a Java Enterprise Application Server. Then WebLogic is a Oracle Application Server. Then WebSphere, it is a IBM Application Server. These are the four different types of application servers we have. So we are mainly focusing on learning about Apache Tomcat. So there are advantages of application server over the web server. So that is supports dynamic applications. Here the application server supports dynamic applications and database integration. It will integrate with the database and session management. There is security features, then scalability, then enterprise application support. These are the main advantages of the application server. Once again, okay. So that main example of the application server is Apache Tomcat, which is we are going to discuss about now. One second. Okay. So Apache Tomcat is an open source Java servlet container developed by the Apache Software Foundation. So the name of the application server is Tomcat, but it is developed by Apache Software Foundation. That's why we call it Apache Tomcat. It provides an environment to execute Java servlets, Java JSP pages, and Java expression languages, then WebSocket applications. These are the different environment it's going to execute with a Apache Tomcat. So why should we use Tomcat? Because instead of any other application servers, why should we use Tomcat? So Tomcat enables developers to deploy and run the Java web application. So we can deploy and run the Java web application by using Tomcat. Without Tomcat, Java web application cannot process HTTP requests. So without Tomcat, the Java web application cannot process HTTP requests, and also it won't serve the dynamic content. That's why we use Tomcat. So the main features of Tomcat, it is a open source. There is no paid version here. It is completely open source application server which we can directly get it from the official website of Apache, and we can download it and install. Then it is a cross platform, so we can use it with any operating system, any platform it will work. It can be Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and it is a lightweight. It will not get much data, and also we can quickly install it. Security configuration is very uh, like highly available for this Tomcat, and then fast startup. So when you start the application, it will be done very fast and easy deployment. Deployment is very easy with a Tomcat. Just copying your deployable file into the Tomcat. That's it. Next is built-in manager application. So in the built-in itself, manager applications will be there. We can use with a Tomcat. So how the real world architecture of Tomcat look like? It will be like this. First, users internet through internet it's going to connect to the load balancer and Apache HTTPD. Then Apache Tomcat it will be directly go, and then Java application it will display the data through MySQL database. So what is the difference between mainly Apache HTTP server and Apache Tomcat? Both are Apache only, but what is the difference between the you can consider as web server and application server? So with the HTTP server, static content will be there. With the Tomcat, sta- both static content will be there and also dynamic content also will be there. But here in the Apache HTTP server, there is no dynamic Java applications. Only Tomcat it will be available. Java servlet support not available in the Apache HTTP server, but Tomcat it will be available. Same all these like Java servlet support, JSP support, database connectivity, and business logic, then session management. All these are all not available in the HTTP server, but Tomcat it will be available. That's why we are more going to use Tomcat most of the time. And default port for the HTTP is 80 or 443. So 80 is a HTTP port, HTTPS is it will be 443. So we are going to use a different port for the different application like application. If you use a Tomcat, it will be 8080. But when we use a HTTP server, it will be 80 or 443. If you use HTTP, it is 40. HTTPS, it will be 443, the port number. These are very important. You have to remember what is the what is the port number for HTTP and HTTPS, then Tomcat, then SH. This and all we have already discussed. So it is very important. Then performance wise, excellent for static content, the HTTP server, but optimized for Java application. That is a Tomcat will be mainly for Java application. It is optimized. This is about the introduction of web server, application server, and the Tomcat. So now we are going to install the Tomcat in both Linux and Windows operating system. Tomcat server will be available as a zip file. We can download it from the official website and unzip it before installing Tomcat. Sorry, we can directly unzip it and we can use it. But before that, Java is mandatory. So any software which we are going to use it in our training, Java is mandatory. That's why we have installed in the first itself. So now Java is available. So to check the Java, you already know about the command Java hyphen version. So Java is installed. Now I am going to install the download the zip file from Apache Tomcat. I'll go here. Directly you can go and you can look for the Tomcat download. Here we have Tomcat 9 different versions you can see download. Under download you can Tomcat 11, 10, 9 this and all, and also you can see the information about those versions. So this is the 11 is the latest version which is available as of now, but I don't want to go for the latest version. I'll go one older, that is Tomcat 10. I will download. So here 64-bit Windows. See you can see Windows zip or GIF. If you want to other operating system, you can get the GIF here. So I'm going to 64-bit GIF file. It is downloading. Once it is downloaded, you have to unzip it and store in the custom software folder. So you can whatever the name you have to custom it. So it is downloaded. Open. So these are the file. So I'm going to copy this particular file Apache Tomcat inside the zip file, and then I'll go to the custom folder. Should be always in the C drive. From there you can create any, here you can create with the any name. So I have created as a softwares, and I will paste it here. So Tomcat 10.1.56, it is done. Now I will delete it here. Now Apache Tomcat is downloaded. Unzip it and store in the custom folder. Then we have to go to the tomcat/bin folder and open command prompt to start the Tomcat. So now we have to open Tomcat bin. So any software or any tool which you are going to install it, bin is contains binary files, that is mainly for executing or starting the application. So I'm going to run here. Instead of command prompt, I will open git bash. So here I have multiple files. So in the Windows, we are going to use mainly files called catalina.bat. So catalina.bat files are there. You can see this is a bat. So what I have to do? Catalina. Okay. So I'm using from the git bash. That's why it is not taking. It should be kind of Linux. So I will take as a command prompt only. I'll go here in the command prompt cmd. So I'll use catalina.bat start. If you use this one, so it is started. You can see here. Do you want to allow public and private networks to access this app? So you can allow it. Now it is running in the backend. It is running. You should not close this one. If you close it, the Tomcat should will be like exit, and you can't see the start. Now it is running. Okay. So if I check the status, you can see. Okay, start stop only. You can see. You can go to browser. That local host we have to use to check the local application which we have deployed, and use default port as 8080. See, I have installed it Apache Tomcat 10.1.56. This is how you can install it. And to log in, manager app, we can click on it. So it will throw the error HTTP 404 error. It will throw.
This is a web server, right?
No, this is application server only.
Okay, because it's showing HTML page directly like this.
Yeah, HTML page it will show, but when we click on that particular data, once we deploy the data, so it's going to take the data from the backend. So based
Okay.
upon the HTTP, it is not a static one. If you use web server, it will be static. We can't change the data. Only the data which is available, it's going to display. But when we use the application server, we can we are going to log in it by using the username and password, and it will throw the it will fetch the data for that particular user only.
Suppose if the page shows up the HTML page which you shown earlier,
Yeah,
then it is a web server, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So now it is showing the error like the application server I have installed, but I am unable to log in it. This particular error it will throw because access is denied. Let me show you how to resolve this.
Okay. Okay.
So we have to set up the access for this one 404 error. One second. So we can go to notes. Here I have given already. So when we get the access denied error, and then we have to go to this particular Tomcat web apps folder. There we have to update some of the configurations. So I will go here, bin Apache Tomcat Web Apps Manager. So these are web apps. Here only we are going to deploy our applications. I will explain the end. Okay, it is not showing documents example root webinf manager meta nf. But here manager folder itself not created. Okay, meta nf context.xml. So this one we can open with a notepad plus plus. Here we have to comment this particular line. So context anti-resource locking value class name equal to this one. This we have to comment it by using this one. So now I have commented and I will save it. After that again I have to restart it. The Tomcat, you can go here, stop. Again I have started. Okay, still it is showing. The manager HTML is not available. The requested resource. So if we get the 403 error, then we have to follow the that is context.xml file. But we are getting the currently the 403 404 error instead of 403. 403 is a access denied error. Let me show you. So if you get the access denied error, that is a 403. We have to do the these particular changes which we can resolve it by providing the access for the manager users. But 403 is a different one. Let me set the credentials for that first. Once again, we have to go to the Tomcat users. Here, the admin console provided like for accessing the manager, we have to provide the Tomcat users. We have to go to the path. Web apps. Here, this one. In this particular path, Apache Tomcat conf. Inside conf, you can see Tomcat users. That particular file, we have to edit it and we have to provide the user credentials here. See, these are line. Already it is there, but it is commented. Now I am going to use with a different one. like this we can provide. This is a way we can use it. So I'm going to provide user username Mohan, password DevOps 123, and the roles should be always we have to provide roles. These are roles we have to provide: manager GUI and admin GUI. So when you use this one, you are going to get the permission for the user.
We can do it from the command prompt as well, right, Mohan?
No, command prompt we can't set it. If you use git bash, we can do it. In the
Okay.
command prompt, we can't set it. Even if you open same how you do for git, right? We can open
Uh-huh.
from here by using vim and inside the file. Otherwise, you can open the in the real, like in the Linux, we are going to use the same vim. By using vim command only we can do.
Okay.
Then slash we have to provide slash, close it. Then save it. Save this one. How I will stop the stopped. So once I stopped it, whichever it is top up. Now it is not showing. Now again I will start it. Okay. Again if I go localhost 8080 and manager app, again it is showing same.
Is that because still the notepad is in open?
No, no, not like that. It is already saved. It is showing the path itself not available. That's why it is showing. Manager app.
And we don't see any manager folder in.
Yeah, manager folder is by default it is not created now. It was showing actually it should create.
Yeah.
So inside web apps, there should be manager app, manager folder should be available, but it is not available here.
Can't we create one?
No, we can't create. Let me open. It should be present, but it is not there. Examples, .inf. So it should be web apps manager and meta nf, but here it is created as a examples. So I'm going to change the name is to manager. So this one only should be present as manager, but don't know now new installation it is looking like that. Now I am going to rerun the Tomcat. Localhost. No. Manager dash slash HTML is not available. Let me check in the Google once.
Mohan, there is Stack Overflow below. Second one. Scroll down, scroll down. This one, this one. See?
So I, yeah, this is the one. How do I fix this? It is showing same like you should find it. You have to check if you have folder with name manager inside the folder web apps. But we don't have. I have created now once again manager. Mm, okay, users. This one is correct. For everything they have provided, you can manually copy it from the Tomcat release zip file from the opposite. Okay. Not available anywhere. Yeah, now it is created. No, no, at the time it was not working. Now I'll copy this one, web apps folder, inside web apps manager. I'll completely change complete web apps folder. I'm going to take, or else I will do one thing. I'll copy this one. Softwares and I'll replace with the existing one. Now if I go here and I will run the same. Now it is asking for the credentials. So I have given, okay, it is throwing error. Let me open the files. So these are main files which we should remember. Tomcat users file which is present in the conf directory. So we have to open this one to edit the credentials. So what are the credentials? You want to set the credentials, you can open this one and you can use from here. User, username equal to one, password equal to DevOps, and then roles we have to provide. Two roles we have to use to access this one. One is manager GUI and another one is admin GUI. So manager hyphen GUI and another one is admin hyphen GUI. So here we have to declare the users as well. Roles, role, role name equal to manager hyphen GUI, and next. So whenever we open, we have to close it same by using this one slash and then role name equal to admin hyphen GUI slash close. Okay. Now I will save it and close it. So if I go here and if I give the credentials, it won't take now, I know. Oh, okay, it is taking without restart also it's work. The user credentials I have given. So this is the how it will look. See, if you find these are the files which are available in the web apps directory. If you go, this is the web apps directory, docs, example, host manager, manager, and root. So if the manager is available, then only we can able to log in. Otherwise, it is not possible. And these are the files which we have. And if you want to change the anything inside the manager, we have the meta inf context.html. There we have to change it. But here it is already working fine. So if you open, if you are getting a 403 access denied error, then you have to comment these particular lines, these two. I have already given in the notes. So this is how we can log into the application server. Okay, let's go to the theory part once again. So same I will show in the Linux as well. We will finish the installation part. So in the Windows we have installed and we have done with the configurations. Same like that we can do from the Linux as well. Let me open my server. So this is my server which I have created. Connect. Example, I will go here. Sudo save icon. Okay. Now system ctl status Tomcat. It is disabled. If you check ps-e here, grep -i Tomcat. Tomcat is not available. So now I'm going to cd opt directory. Here I will download Apache Tomcat. I'll go core tar file we can do or zip file also we can do it. So I'll take zip file wget. So it is zip file is downloaded. Now I will unzip it. Apache zip. It is done. Now I'm going to delete the zip file and I will change the name of Apache to Apache Tomcat. Otherwise I'll give Tomcat 9. Sorry, Tomcat 10. Now Tomcat 10 is there. Inside the Tomcat we have to go inside the bin. So here we have the execution files different. Uh, to start the application, what we have to do is the startup file we have to run. In that one, we used to run catalina.bat and also startup.bat also we can use. But here we use sh file. So dot slash startup. Okay, this one is not taking because these are all the files are not in the state of execution. So there is no access for the execution. That's why it is showing we are unable to run it. So what I will do is I will provide chmod plus x for all the files I will provide. Till no access. Seven triple five. 755 for the star.sh. Okay. Now all the sh files I have given executable permission. 755 I have given. So it is 755 for the all the .sh files. Like this you can provide. Now I am going to run the file startup.sh. So Tomcat is started. So to check the start of the Tomcat, we can use the command which we have already discussed in the Linux classes. ps-ef grep-i Tomcat. So this command is very important. In the real time we regularly use to check our application server is running fine or not. We can use this one as well, and also we can use systemctl status Tomcat. Tomcat status. Okay, it is not showing properly. Service status Tomcat. Okay, it is not taking as a service. Disabled the Tomcat. Let's see now whether it is working fine or not. So I'm going to check. So once we started the Tomcat, we can check it. Here it is showing fine. The process ID, everything it is showing. So it is running already. Now what we have to do in the Windows, we are going to use the local host, but here in the Linux, we have to use the URL should be public IP address. So we have to go here. This is a public IPv4 address. You can take copy it 8080. That is a default port number 8080. Let's see if it will work or not. If not working, then we have to check. First thing we have to check is security groups of the server. So here I have given 80, 443 and 22, only two. That's why it is still loading and it is unable to reach. So what we have to do, inbound rules. We have to go inbound rules here and we have to modify it. So security groups, we have to go and we edit inbound rules. Here add the rule custom TCP. So you can provide the custom TCP because these are all the SH, HTTPS and HTTP. Only these three access provide. Now I'm going to provide 8080 as well and I will give my IP. So based upon the IP address, it's going to take it. Now I have given my IP only. Save rules. Now it's working fine. See, this is how if it is not loading, the first thing you should check the security groups of the server EC2 instance. You have to validate it whether you have provided the access or not. Now it is working fine. Now next thing is manager app. Before that, let me check cd ls cd web apps. Here manager is available, so no problem. We can open manager app. Now 403. This error is different compared to previous error. Understood? So previously we were facing 404. Now it is 403. When you get the 403 access denied error, you can see here. If you have not changed any configuration files, please examine the tomcat-users.xml file. So in the tomcat-users file, we have to modify where we have to go back. Here there is a folder called conf cd on. Here there is a file name called tomcat-users.xml. Vim tomcat-users.xml, and here same how we have done in the Windows as well. Same we have to go down. can just copy this one, paste. But within double quotes, whatever it is there, you have to remove it once again and add it. Tomcat manager hyphen GUI roles, that is, and this one also remove it. I'll give here Linux 1 2 3. Username I will provide as DevOps. Okay, and next is we have to add the role. We have to declare
Roles.
role here. Role, role name equal to manager hyphen GUI slash then role, role name admin hyphen GUI. Okay, so these two roles same I will add here as well. Admin hyphen GUI. Okay, now escape and save it. Once again you have to do the cd slash, you can go here and refresh it. Still it is not accessible because I have to restart it. Now what we have to do, cd bin here. So startup, to start the Tomcat we have done startup.sh. To shut down it, we have to use dot slash shutdown. So this is stopped now. If you check the ps hyphen ef, so it is not showing any process. Now I am going to restart it again by using startup.sh. Now I will go back and I will refresh it. Okay, still I am facing issue. Okay, for following four roles it is asking to change it. Let me check once again. For example, I am manager used to use name Tomcat, manager hyphen GUI. So we have given correct only cd dot conf vim tomcat hyphen users dot xml role, role name equal to manager hyphen jmx role, role name manager GUI, manager script, manager status.
I think two hyphens. No.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, sorry.
Manager GUI we have already given, and script 3 we have to add. JMX script and status. Role name, manager, script.
We don't see admin GUI there.
Yeah, it is not there. I will remove. So mainly manager access we required. That's why admin is not required. manager GUI, JMX, status. Even if there is any spelling mistake also it won't work. So we have to be careful. CD bin. No. CD web apps. Vim CD meta Vim context.xml. So this is also important. Like we have to comment this particular line. Now it is working fine, right? So these are the very important. These three you should mainly remember. Let me confirm what and all. So first thing is two different files. One is inside the like if you go Tomcat slash web apps, and inside web apps you have the path called meta-nf. So if you check inside the manager again, manager web inf, here there is a file called context.html. So here you have to comment some of the line. And next is user tomcat user data xml, tomcat hyper users data xml file, which is in the path of conf. So tomcat slash conf, inside that one tomcat hyphen user user.xml. These two is a very important. You should remember, and we have to modify those changes once installation is done. So I'm going to use DevOps Linux 123. So it is installed. Now you can see same as how we do in the Windows as well. If you use localhost here, it will display same here too. Okay. This is how you can install and configuration done in the Linux and Windows operating system. Now I am going to proceed further. The file structure we will see now. So installation is done, both Windows and Linux, and admin console. This is the Tomcat users.xml file where we have to display the where we have to provide the credentials. Path will be I will provide here inside this one. The path of that one Tomcat slash conf slash Tomcat hyphen users dot xml. This is the path. There you have to provide the credentials. This is the line we have to provide the username credentials. Even if you do the Google or if you throw the error, it will display what and all we have to provide. And if you get the access denied 403 error, then we have to provide this context.html. This particular issue should be present. Context.xml inside the meta inf, we have to comment the value tag in this particular line, and then we have to restart the Tomcat. Once done any configuration, you have to, for the safety purpose, you have to do the restart of the Tomcat, and then you have to access the URL. Then only it will work fine. Okay. That is about Tomcat installation. Tomorrow, I will, because now we can start again regarding the directory structure, but it will take time. Lot of files we need to explain about it. Tomorrow we will see about the Tomcat file structure, directory structure, how it will be there, and which and all it is very important. And we will see the deployment, how to deploy the WAR file into Tomcat application server. We will see this in the tomorrow class, and we will finish Tomcat. Then we will start with the Sonar Cube. Yeah, that's it for today.
Okay, Mohan. Thank you.